All right, get ready to dive into secure messaging today. Buckle up, because you sent in some articles about something called smoke crypto chat. They're claiming to be quantum resistant, honestly. Color me intrigued. Have you always had like this sixth sense for this kind of groundbreaking tech?
Well, what's really interesting here is that you've put your finger on a very real concern. I mean, we've all seen this big push for more and more encrypted messaging, which on the surface is fantastic, but you have to wonder what happens when quantum computers become powerful enough to crack those codes. Like, is all that encryption going to just be useless?
See, that's what caught my eye too. Like, I don't claim to be some code breaking expert or anything, but even I've heard these whispers about quantum computers and how they're going to change everything. It really does feel like we're like right on the verge of some big security earthquake, you know?
Exactly. And that is where Smoke Crypto Chat comes in, trying to get ahead of the curve.
Oh.
What they're doing is using something called the McEliece algorithm. It's been around for, believe it or not, about 40 years, and it's considered by many to be quantum resistant.
40 years? I mean, come on, that's practically ancient history when it comes to the tech world. How could something that old possibly hold up against something as like insanely cutting edge as a quantum computer?
Well, the key here is that the McEliece algorithm is based on a really difficult problem, even for quantum computers. Essentially, it's based on how hard it is to decode random linear codes. It's almost like hiding in plain sight, in a way. The lock is just incredibly complex to pick, even with the most advanced tools you could imagine.
Okay, so you've officially blown my mind. 40-year-old tech going up against quantum computers.
Yeah.
Seriously impressive. But here's the big question. Is this like a theory, just some idea people are kicking around, or is it something I can actually like download right now and try out?
Oh, this isn't some pie-in-the-sky idea. Smoke is a real working messaging app. You can download it today on F-Droid, in fact.
Wait, did you just say F-Droid? Now, if you're into privacy, that's a name that'll make your ears perk up. What is it about F-Droid that makes it the place to be for an app like Smoke, you think?
F-Droid, they've got this reputation. And it's well-earned. It's the place to go for open-source apps. It's kind of apps where privacy isn't just some afterthought they tacked on at the end. So the fact that Smoke is on F-Droid, well, that speaks volumes about their priorities right there.
Right, so we've got this quantum-proof encryption, at least in theory, open source code, available on a platform that practically screams, we care about privacy. Okay, I'm starting to see why you think this Smoke thing is a big deal. But, and I have to ask this, there are already a ton of messaging apps out there, and each one of them seems to be yelling from the rooftops about how secure they are. What is it that makes Smoke different?
You hit the nail on the head. There are a lot of them out there. But Smoke does a few key things differently. One of the biggest ones is that they let you run your own server. You heard that right. So if you're really, really serious about keeping those messages private, with Smoke, you can just set up a private server, for just you and your inner circle, family, friends, maybe even a school group or something.
So instead of having to trust the security of Signal or WhatsApp with Smoke, you're in the driver's seat. Complete control. It's like having your own like private little internet just for you and the people you really trust. That changes everything.
You got it. Total control.
Mm.
And there's more. See, Smoke, it doesn't even require a phone number. They assign you a 32-digit ID, or you can make an alias.
No phone number. Seriously, I'm telling you, that right there would be enough to convince a lot of people, myself included, honestly. No more of this uploading your entire contact list just to chat with a few friends. Okay, now this is starting to sound really interesting. What else you got?
Okay, how about this? They've got this feature called, you ready for this? Cryptographic calling. And basically what this lets you do is it lets you manually generate brand new end-to-end encryption keys anytime you want.
So it's kind of like hitting like the refresh button on your encryption, like mid-conversation even, just to make sure nobody's listening in.
You've got it. And this all ties into something a little, I'll be honest, a little technical. But it's worth mentioning, Smoke uses this really cool method called, get this, fiasco forwarding. That's what they use for their key exchange.
Fiasco forwarding. Okay, come on. Now you're just using like top secret spy terms to make all this sound even more impressive. Seriously, though, what is that?
Uh-huh. Maybe a little. But honestly, it's a pretty ingenious way to make things more secure. Imagine this. Instead of using one key for every message in a conversation, you're using a different... Even if some nefarious character managed to intercept, I don't know, maybe one or two messages, they wouldn't be able to crack the whole conversation.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. So it's like, if you imagine changing your Wi-Fi password every few minutes, even if somebody manages to snag it, they can't really do anything with it because it's going to change again right away. Pretty smart. This all sounds amazing, like almost too good to be true. Amazing.
I have to ask, are there any downsides? I mean, come on, no system is perfect. What are the trade-offs? What are we missing here? So you're telling me there's a catch. This is it. This is the perfect app. It's going to revolutionize messaging. It's going to, like, solve world peace.
Yeah.
But there's a problem.
Well, it's like they say perfect is the enemy of good. And when it comes to tech, there are always going to be, little hiccups here and there.
Okay, so what's the catch with smoke then? What are we missing here?
Oh, well, one thing that kept popping up in those articles you sent was that the user interface, the UI, it could use some work. It's not quite there yet. It could be a little more polished, a little more user-friendly. Ugh, yeah, the classic trade-off, right? Like
Right.
incredible, groundbreaking tech, but maybe not the slickest, easiest experience for the average user. Yeah, I've been there.
Exactly. But you know what? This is actually where things get kind of interesting for you, dear listener. See, because Smoke is open source, they're actively looking for developers, people with coding chops, to jump in and help out, contribute to the project. And who knows, maybe that could even be you.
Whoa, hold on a second. You're saying, like, I could contribute to a quantum-resistant messaging app. I mean, come on. I'm more of a send funny GIFs in the group chat kind of user, not a coder. But I see your point.
Yep.
It is pretty cool that they're so open to, like, contributions from the community. For real. That's how it should be.
Right. It's at the core of who they are, this whole open source ethos. But, it does just this to another one of the challenges they're facing.
Right. Getting people to actually use the darn thing. Yeah, I get that. It's tough. It's like trying to convince everyone you know to switch over to some brand new social media platform, no matter how cool it is, no matter how many bells and whistles it has. It's hard to be the first one to make the jump, especially if all your friends are still on that other platform.
Tell me about it. It's like this chicken and egg problem, right? Like people are hesitant to switch to Smoke because none of their friends are on it. But at the same time, it's hard to convince those friends to join because, well, not enough people are using it.
Yeah. I've been burned before, honestly. I jumped on that, what was it called? The app name bandwagon a while back. Big mistake.
Yeah.
Huge. It was a ghost town. So how's Smoke going to avoid that same fate? How are they going to get people excited enough to, like, actually make the switch?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And I think it might come down to this. Remember how you were drawn to that whole quantum-resistant thing? For the folks behind Smoke, it's about something bigger than just, hey, use our app. It's about a philosophy,
Yeah.
taking control of your data, knowing how your tech actually works, and being part of a community that actually cares about these things, a community that wants to build a better digital future together.
Right. So it's almost like making a statement, Choosing Smoke isn't just about sending a text message. It's about supporting a whole different way of thinking about online communication, how we communicate, what we value in terms of privacy, all of it.
Exactly. It's about looking at the big picture and saying, okay, what kind of digital world do we want to live in? And what role do I want to play in making that happen?
And you know what else kind of plays into that whole idea of valuing data, valuing security, valuing, like, just having access to your stuff? This other thing I read about Ozone, something about retrieving messages offline. I mean, that sounds incredibly useful in this day and age. Spotty internet, dead phone battery, no problem.
Yes, ozone. Okay, now we're getting into some seriously intriguing territory.
Okay, you can't just drop ozone offline messages and
Yeah.
seriously intriguing territory all in one breath and then expect me to just move on. I need details, people. Spill the tea.
Right, of course. So ozone, this is a feature they've got in Smoke that basically lets you get your messages, even if you haven't been online, like if your phone's dead or something. Imagine a super secure mailbox, but instead of it being at the post office, it's on this decentralized network.
Wait, hold on. So my messages wouldn't be like stuck on my phone or floating around in some cloud server somewhere. That's huge. Like, especially these days, everybody's on the go. Internet's always cutting out. How would they even make that work?
Decentralization, that's the key. The way it works is you set a password and you link it to your Smoke ID on one of their servers, these smokestack servers. And so even when your phone is off, out of commission, your messages can be held in this like decentralized mailbox,
Yeah.
safe and sound until you're back online.
So are you saying, like, my messages would be, I don't know, like spread out, as in
Yeah.
they'd be in multiple places at once?
In a way, yeah, that's kind of the idea. It's a very different way of thinking about data storage, but it's still incredibly secure. because
Hmm.
it's tied to your Smoke ID and you've got your password. Think of it like having, I don't know, a safety deposit box.
For your messages.
And nobody else has the key. No matter where you are, you can get to your messages.
You literally just blew my mind again. Okay, so to recap, we've gone from quantum resistant encryption to owning your own server and now to this whole like distributed mailbox thing. It just seems like smoke. It's not just trying to build a better messaging app. It feels bigger than that, Like they're trying to reimagine the entire concept of like how we communicate online.
Nailed it. That's exactly what they're doing. Smoke is pushing the boundaries. They're saying, hey, we can have privacy and security. And the best part is it's all out in the open. No secrets, open source, transparent. It's driven by a community of people who genuinely want to see a different kind of digital future.
Right, a digital future where people have more control, more transparency, and, maybe a little more peace of mind while they're at it. So, to you, dear listener, this deep dive into Smoke Crypto Chat, this is, well, it's more than just a tech update. This is a call to action. What do you value in a messaging app? What are your priorities? Are you ready to step outside the box and explore some alternatives, things that'll give you back control of your data?
Couldn't have said it better myself. And hey, who knows? Maybe the next time we do one of these deep dives into the world of secure messaging, we'll be talking about some groundbreaking new feature that you helped create.
Now that's a thought. Until next time, keep sending in those questions. Keep those curiosity wheels turning. You never know what you might find out there.